Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 29 of the SANE Show. We got Tall Chris with us in the house today. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, doing really well, man. I'm glad to be here.
Good, good, good. Glad to have you on. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit down and join the SANE Show
Most definitely.
podcast. So today we're going to talk about anime and black culture, divorce. Then we're going to have our trending topic that we reveal later in the discussion, and then followed by all of that, we're going to have the interview with you just so that the audience can get to learn a little bit more about you, what you got going on, and the things that you're involved in as well. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. I'm actually excited. I know we kind of put this together last minute, but it doesn't matter.
It still worked out.
Right. It doesn't matter really with a show like this because it's not like there's a tremendous amount of planning that goes into it. It's just really, a couple individuals getting together saying, hey, let's talk about this and that, and, have a discussion around it. So anime and black culture, I know you kind of mentioned prior to the recording it being underrated.
Yes.
And I can agree with you. It's, when I think about it too, underappreciated.
Yes.
And like I was saying, one of those things where it was almost like it wasn't viewed as far as like to black anime fans. It didn't seem like something that was accepted within our own community. So I know this is something near and dear to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you, give your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's like you said before, it's definitely underappreciated and underrepresented within the black community. Within the last couple of years, you've seen a growth in anime coming to the mainstream of black culture. So everyone kind of likes anime now. Well, not really likes anime. Everyone has always had a love for it, but people didn't really verbalize it or showcase that they did love anime and love this topic. Now it's kind of like how nerd culture is coming to. It's becoming cool now to like anime.
Right.
So it's definitely underappreciated and underrepresented. And that's kind of what I mean by that.
Yeah. It's so funny as I, in between when we, put this together and now, I'm always thinking about what's going to be discussed.
Yeah.
And still now it's, things are coming to mind as far as anime in general. And, one of the things I was thinking about, or I just thought about actually, is how I really have embraced my love for anime and have also not only embracing it for myself, but also, talking to other people about it and sharing it on social media. I even got it over there somewhere in that pile. When I went to see Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie, and I took a picture of it and I put it on Instagram, shared it to Facebook, like, yo, I just not opening day, but opening weekend, I went to see the Brawley movie. I bought my ticket in advance. It was a good movie, and I'm sharing it. I'm like, yo, this is a great movie, and I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you didn't see it, you're missing out. So I know exactly what you mean. Especially like I come across people and I talk about some of these shows, and they're like, oh yeah, I watched that too. Oh, word? And now we're talking about, oh well, what do you watch that I haven't seen, and what am I watching that they haven't seen? And so it's I think it's really cool, especially when I'm talking to another black person and they share the same love for anime.
Connect the bridge. It helps kind of. It's definitely a great conversation starter. When you find that someone like you just said, someone likes a particular anime that you happen to like watch, and then you recommend them something new to watch, and then they come back to you for like, yo, I watched that, I checked that out, bro. You were right. Whatever you told me about, that was dope. Like that anime was dope. And to get back onto Dragon Ball Z, like that was such a huge influence within black kids. Like everybody wanted to be Goku. Like there wasn't nobody who didn't want to be Goku. Vegeta, on the other hand, nobody wanted to mess with Vegeta. That was like the ultimate hater. But as far as like Dragon Ball Z, that kind of what started me down this path of like wanting to bring anime to the forefront or make it more of a popular thing, which it's starting to become that. But it just, at least within Charlotte, is a little bit, that art form is underrepresented in Charlotte. So I just want to kind of bring that to a forefront and ahead within the art community within Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this question here. What's your favorite? Or because I know some people it's tough.
Yeah.
It is for me. If you had to give either your favorite or your top three.
Yeah. Oh, well, my favorite. It's not tough for me. My favorite, hands down, is Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
Not the first one. The first one is garbage. Mm-hmm. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the second one, and that one is based off the actual source material. Mm-hmm. With the first one, she didn't complete the manga, so they kind of just half-assed the show.
Yeah.
So with the Brotherhood, she actually completed the manga, and then they were able to follow the story verbatim. So that was just an entirely different story, and definitely a better one. So that's my favorite right now.
Okay. I'm going to say it's kind of tough for me. I love them. I love these shows very, very much, and I've watched them religiously. And those two shows is between Dragon Ball Super and My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I'm with you with My Hero Academia. That is an amazing show.
But you know something though? My number three is Kino's Journey to Beautiful World.
See, I haven't watched that one.
You gotta watch that one. So let me tell you why. This is why I have such a great appreciation for anime, because you can learn so many life lessons from the shows. Especially a show like Dragon Ball Super, or just a Dragon Ball franchise in general. And then, My Hero Academia, kid born without a quirk in a world of everybody, where most of the kids are, a lot of people are born with quirks but want to become superheroes, and he walks down the path of wanting to become a superhero and goes to the best school. That is, it's so inspiring, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things you look at and it's like, okay, you think you internalize that and can apply it to your own journey within your life or whatever it is that you're trying to do, because it has done exactly that for me. And then Kino's journey, basically, I don't want to give it all away since you haven't seen it. Basically, this kid travels through the world. He gets to see these different countries. But one of the things I learned in watching the show, and there's only, I think, one season right now, but within that one season, you can learn so much, and that's why I love rewatching it.
Yes.
Because what you see in these different countries, even though they're fictional, you see elements of different parts of, whether it be a country or societies within the world that we live in today, and it makes you think about all of that stuff. No matter, because you got things that are on one extreme and then on the other extreme, and then you have things that would appear to be moderate, but at the end of the day, everything has its pros and its cons. You see what I mean? So it's a great show. You definitely got to watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out. And to piggyback off your point, how you can learn a lot from anime shows. I definitely learned. Another one of my favorites is One Piece. Their manga is still going on. Like they have 900. They're on chapter 940. So it's still going, and that's not even like the longest long running manga I've seen. The longest one I've seen, I can't remember the name of it, but they're up to like 1,122 chapters. But to get back to One Piece, the one thing I definitely learned from One Piece is you learn what this main character would do for his friends. And what he does for his friends, the main character is Luffy. So he goes above and beyond for his friends. And that's something you can apply to when you have people around you that are close to you. You would do the same thing as this character does for his people. Like, you would do the same thing for your friends. It's like he finds a group of people weird, all types of people, but they're a family. And same thing with people in your circle, like that you really build a strong connection with. Is like, yo, you would go to the end of the earth for these people. Like, one example, this man Luffy, one of his characters named Robin, got captured by the government, and it's the Enies Lobby arc. So people who know One Piece, they know what I'm talking about. This man he had his man Usopp shoot down the flag, but he pretty much took on the world government just to get back his crewmate, and somebody that's a part of his squad. So, like, that type of loyalty, that type of love for your brother, your sister, that's something you could definitely take away from the show.
That's dope. That's dope. I got more came out of that that topic, then I had hope.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things on the forefront I could think of a little bit, but and that's what I love about it. You know, you get deeper into the conversation, more things come to mind. There's so many directions, and so many different aspects and things you can talk about within that conversation.
Yes.
About anime, especially within Black culture. I don't want to go too deep into detail about it, but the Boondocks. You know, a lot of people love that show, but a lot of those elements are of anime. So people that love the Boondocks, Black people that love the Boondocks especially.
There should be no Black person that doesn't like the Boondocks. Like, if you don't like the Boondocks, we're going to have to holler at you outside.
Right.
You're going to step outside. We got to talk to you, bro.
Right. So let's go ahead and hop into our trending topic. This is a rather interesting one. Martha Stewart, Bobby Flay, and more celebrity chefs nearly gagged trying Peeps pizza. Anybody that is familiar, you know, especially this time of year, Easter, and the Peeps little marshmallow candy, little chicks.
Yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Chicks,
I know what you're talking
chicks,
about.
That's what you call baby chickens, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the Peeps, and basically the Peep is smashed on the pizza. There's like a video of them eating and they nearly gag, and it says here, it's really a thing, and these brave chefs tried it out so you don't have to. And I'm glad. I don't even think I would even take that chance. You know what I mean? Because that's just nasty. Just to even think about it, because I have a hard time eating marshmallows by themselves. Peeps, I got to be real hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
Look,
craving something
I ain't
sweet.
eating a couple days like that Peeps.
Yeah. And then to put it on a pizza, that's the thing that really, really blows my mind. You know, it's so funny that this is something that's being discussed because a few episodes ago, actually the one with Skate Be Dope, we were talking about different flavor, you know, different kinds of pizza. Yeah. And it was a BuzzFeed article, and it had like all these bizarre, like one with like gummy worms, one with like mayo.
Mayo, no. Gummy worms. Yeah. I'll try it.
Hot dogs, like all this kind of crazy stuff on pizza. And it's so it's funny that this is our trending topic because, you know, again, we're talking about Peeps on pizza. Yeah. This would definitely be something that deserves to be on that bizarre list. And it's, you know, one of the things I know we were talking about in that recording, you know, it's just about like how we have all these different kinds of pizza. Yes. You know, especially because I used to look at pineapple pizza as something that was bizarre.
Just about to ask you about, like, how do you feel about pineapple pineapple on pizza? Because I love it, yo.
Okay.
I love it.
You gotta, if you make it right. Yeah. Then.
True.
I'm cool with it. Yeah. You know, I can make it work. Like I'll say Harris Teeter has a good pineapple pizza. Because it's versus like Domino's. I don't like their pineapple pizza. All it is basically like they took a can of pineapples and just like got all the juice out of it and then just dumped it all over the pizza versus like I guess like what I like to call authentic pizza, where they took a pineapple, they actually chopped it up.
They put that love and care into it.
Right, and it actually makes it good. Yes. Because a lot of places that do the pineapple pizza, you know, it has the ham on there as well. Yeah. And if you do it right, and it's like nice, and you glaze it as well. Cause I know a lot of like Cedar, they glaze theirs with like some kind of like a honey, maple kind of flavor.
You lose me when you put the ham, when you add the ham to the pineapple. That's where you lose me, man.
Yeah, because you know, think about the ham hock and like, you know, you get the glazed ham and so that's what I think what makes it good, like, cause it's already like the ham, cause even, like they already put pineapple on the ham a lot of times when it's glazed, so it's like pineapple pizza. So, you know,
maybe it's just it might just be a visual thing. If I see like pineapple or I see like a little ham, I'm like, get that ham out of here.
Yo, all right, well, just get somebody to blindfold you next time. They like, yo, we got pizza. What kind of nuts? Just try it. You gonna like it? Like,
well, so I'm gonna like it. I'm like, man, it's pretty good. What's on it?
It's ham and pineapple. That's the toppings.
Damn, foiled by my own deception, by my own eyeballs, foiled.
So that was our trending topic brought to you by Today. Again, the name of that article: Martha Stewart, Bobby Flay, and more celebrity chefs nearly gag trying pizza. Even if you want to try it out, go ahead by all means, and let me know how it works out for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And the after effects of that as well, because I know if I probably eat something like that, it'd probably go down just for a little bit.
Your stomach ain't about to be happy with you. Like, yo, we got a problem. I ain't with it.
Yeah, like putting diesel in a gasoline
right.
car. Hold on, what you
done?
Right. I want to go ahead and hop into our next topic, which is for me a highly anticipated topic: divorce.
Yes.
And I know this is something very relatable to you, but
yes.
on a broader level, one of the things I think about, because when we were talking about this, when we were putting this recording together, one of the things that came to mind for me during that conversation we had was that just thinking about the day and age that we live in now, especially I guess like marriage not being as important to people, but then at the same time you have people that do get married and quickly get divorced at a young age, and I'll let you talk about that, the impact that kind of stuff has. But at the same time, it's like whether because I guess I think of it more of a terms of starting a family.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And whether you're married or not, like just the impact that can have on the children.
Yeah, marriage nowadays is real fickle. It's real weak. And I'm not trying to say it's either good or bad that it is the way it is now. It's just quick. Like, people fall in love quick, and they fall out of love quick, and then people don't really have, as far as what I've seen, people don't really have the backbone, or it's just something within people to where they just give up easily on things that they commit to.
Yeah.
So, and that's, I guess that you could play that can be played into the culture we're in now. It's like it's easy to do stuff now, but it's easy to like jump into something, but then you realize you actually got to put work into it. So now it's like, okay, now this is getting too tough for me. So once it get too tough, I'm gonna bounce.
Right.
So that's kind of where marriage is, and then you have a lot of people get divorced off of that because it becomes too hard. It becomes too much for them.
Right.
So it's like, yo, I gotta bounce. It's not what I want.
Right. It's so funny, especially everybody knows this by now. Me like planning to get engaged. Yeah. With engagement comes marriage. Mm-hmm. One of the things people gave me a hard time about it. Some people still give me a hard time about it. But one of the things I'll tell people is like, yo, marriage is a partnership, and it's like a business.
Yeah, it is a business. And that's how it started out.
Right.
Definitely as a business. But
it's so funny actually. Just earlier this week, my girl and I were having a conversation about like finances and credit and things like that.
Like, yo, it's getting real.
Yeah, and especially because I'm very I take my finances very seriously.
Very, yes.
And so if I'm going to go to that level with somebody, that's something I'm going to take very seriously. And one of the things I say is like, look, I don't care what they do as long as whatever they do doesn't have any negative effect on me financially. Yes. I benefit from it, yay.
Yes.
But if it brings me down, we got a problem.
We definitely got an issue.
Yeah. And it's so funny. People again, like, they give that concept such a hard time.
Yeah.
But when you look at the most recent financial crisis, the Great Recession back in 2008, the divorce rate went up because there were a lot of people that were having financial issues, and a lot of people, again, married couples having struggles, and what happened, like, a lot of those having those kinds of problems led to more people getting divorces. So finance plays a very huge role. Not to say that it's speaking a lot about finances, just going to show how much of an impact that it does have.
It's definitely one of the core pillars in a relationship. Like, you gotta have that.
Right. And then love.
Yeah.
And the willingness to commit.
Yes.
At the end of the day, like, honestly, I thought about it too. Like, I'm fortunate to have somebody that I'm with that's on the same wavelength as me, and shares the same goals and visions, and we're on the same path when planning our future. But at the same time, I'm like, if I didn't have that, I would be okay with waiting.
Yes.
To get to that point, because it doesn't make any sense to try to plan with somebody or to hope but then y'all ain't on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, why we see a lot of what we see now.
Yeah.
And now, when you bring children into the equation,
that's a whole different formula. That's a whole different ball game.
Like, exactly. I'll say, and I don't know if I said this before on the recording on the SANE Show, but one of the things that frustrates me the most, and do what you do,
yeah.
But it concerns me a lot of times when there are families or people starting families, and then they turn around and then they're together, and whether the mother or the father is no longer in the child's life or whatever. It's like, yo, what happened? Like, that was so quick. Like, a lot of times I think, like, you guys made a move moving a little too fast.
Yeah.
You thought you had a future together.
They probably did have a future together until the children came. So, like not blaming the children.
Right.
But I'm saying, when you add another life that you have to take care of, that you might as well just throw out the old formula, because you got to start fresh with a new one.
Right. Like, and that's why planning is so important.
Yes.
That's why, to me, planning is so important. And because one of the things I think about is, like, if I had a kid, I found out I was having a kid tomorrow, I basically got 9 months to get myself ready, because one of the things I got to understand is I'm not just doing for me anymore.
Oh, nah, not even. Not even.
And so it's like, I got to do for them. Now, I will say on top of that, I do commend the parents that do their best to make it work for the kids after they separate, because that's also critical.
I've definitely seen that. A good friend of mine, him and his I don't want to say baby mom, because that sounds,
I hate that term.
I hate that term, bro. But the mother, here you go.
Yeah.
Better term, I got it. The mother of his son.
Yeah.
They're not together, but they have created a situation to where there's no romantic love between them, but it's still like love, because we have to be on the same page for our son. Right. So I've seen situations to where that works, and that's a beautiful system, because it's not even about them anymore. It's about their son.
Right.
So I've seen that, and I'm like, yo, I commend you, because I don't see enough of that when people do split up.
Right.
So I was like, yo, that's incredible that you're able to still maintain a healthy relationship with the mother of your son.
Yeah.
Even when you guys split up. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's powerful.
Very much, yeah. So I'm with you on that as well. But that's what do they call it? It's when, like, family planning or something like that. I cannot think of it. It's a popular.
Was it Planned
Parenthood? They use it with, like, before conversation, but I'm like, like planned pregnancy, all that kind of stuff, and it's like, I'm like, there's a reason they call it planned. Yeah. You plan for all these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. But back to the whole, again, the main topic, marriage. Yeah. Like, it's a big undertaking, and it definitely shouldn't be something that's taken lightly.
Oh, not at all. Yeah. Not at all.
Because I'll even tell you this, like, in me, again, planning to get engaged, it's like the closer you get to it, because it's one thing when you're not engaged,
exactly.
And you're thinking about, it's like, oh, okay, do this and that, but then it's like the closer you get to it, because, I mean, it's like when you commit, or at least with me, when I commit to the idea of doing something, and it's like I get fully engulfed into it, and I start to learn the inner workings of how that's going to work, how am I going to make this happen, how I'm going to do this after I accomplish the next step. I'm learning, like, it's like, okay, this is serious, and it's like, I've never been engaged, I've never been married, so of course I don't know. So it's like my eyes are wide open, because it's like, wow. Okay.
Like, this is like, we're here now. Like,
and it's like but it's like all the things that I'm learning, and I'm just like, in my situation, I didn't grow up with my parents married, so and one of the things I told my girl is, like, her parents were married, so she got a glimpse of that.
Yeah, she got a different experience.
Right, where me, I don't, so I didn't get a lot of that. But at the same time, I'm thankful and I'm fortunate to have role models in my life, like my cousin who I grew up with and spent a lot of time with, his parents married, so I got them, and
you got to see it.
Right, my aunt and uncle in Atlanta, I got them, and even like some very close friends that I have in my life that are married, older couples that I know and love, and have love for me. I got them as well. So, and then my grandparents who I grew up with, I got them too. So
So what you had was a situation where you had a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
Like, you had one of them type of situations. So I was fortunate enough to have that same type of situation. Like, when my parents got divorced when I was just entering high school, and that's when like my parents got divorced. Done with this, done. It was finished. So I got to see a glimpse when in my childhood to where I got to see what it was like to have two people stay together, be together, and love each other. So I got to see that part, but also got to see the ugly side of it too, and that has an effect on your children. For them to kind of see that the nastiness that comes with divorce. Like, there's a lot of vindictiveness that comes out of that, especially when there's unresolved feelings and unresolved problems. And children are not dumb; they're smart. Like, we see all that. That can be a little bit traumatic for us to kind of process and handle. The way I kind of processed that was just to ignore it, but that wasn't really healthy for me either. Because I was still dealing with trauma from that that I didn't even recognize, that I didn't even know I was dealing with until I was 24. So like me just getting to high school, what's that, 10 years? I've been dealing with that, dealing with some stuff, some trauma out of my parents' divorce that I didn't even recognize that I was dealing with. Or I was dealing with a lot. I had a lot of resentment towards not my mother, but a lot of resentment towards my father that wasn't spoke on. It was just there, just like in a subconscious level. That I didn't even realize that. That affected how I operate in relationships. So just for me to look back on that, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of spitefulness. There's a lot of, what's the word? I don't want to use trauma, but there's a lot of unprocessed emotions there that linger on.
It's almost like that thing, cause I've experienced before. It's like you need closure, basically. You need that closure. It's like, because I tell you, like, when you get closure, it's a really great thing. Because I not in that situation, but in the similar situation, I know exactly those feelings and needing that closure to be able to take and say, to acknowledge, and then let's fix, let's move on with the repairs, and do better at the end of the day. So I know exactly that process, and that whole the whole closure thing, and again, it just speaks to how important this stuff is, and how broad of an effect that these kinds of things have. So my message would be to the listeners, like, really take and think about this stuff, especially our generation being the generation that's sexy example for this generation that's coming up behind us. Like, really take and think about the things that you do and the effect that you're having on those around you, especially those that care most about you and whatnot. But I want to go ahead and hop into the interview. I want the listeners to learn a little bit more about you, what you do, and some of the little things that you got going on. So I know, but the listeners don't know. What exactly is it that you do?
What I do graphic design, digital. I would define myself as a digital artist and a storyteller. I like the storyteller. I pretty much use digital art to tell stories. I can use any platform, but my main platform is digital art. So I use that platform, or that medium, to be able to tell stories. A little bit more about me. I've been in a couple of art shows around the city. My first art show was something I actually put on myself with the help of my friends, Kaylin and Surf. So that was back in 2016. Was when I did my first art show. It was called Thank You Society. That one was kind of being sarcastic, like, thank you society for putting me through this bullshit. So that was kind of being sarcastic towards society. But up until now, I've been doing like art shows here and there. I've been helping Surf with some of his projects, helping Kaylin. Kaylin get on her grind and get some of her projects that she want to push out. Yeah, pretty much in between those years, we were doing the couch surfing thing, so that took up a lot of time. But as far as right now, this year, I've definitely focused on more of my own projects. We just had an art event in March, this past March. It's called Azuma Kara. So that's Japanese for from the East. So it was a collective of artists local artists around Charlotte who do anime style artwork using their own mediums. We had I don't know the name of the material, but do you remember those little bead things we used to play with in like elementary school? It's like a little bead thing that you glue together. I don't know the name of what it's called, but just work with me. But she used that to make like a pixel versions of anime characters. She did a Goku one, so just imagine like a pixelated version of Goku. Yeah. She used those type of beads to do that type of artwork, which was dope. Like I've never seen that the way she did it. That was amazing. We had another artist. I know Kaylin did some 3D animations. She did some animation, so we were able to hook that up to a TV and had an animation loop. So we definitely have a great group of artists that started the first show with. So that one was, like I said, in March. So that one was a very great turnout. I definitely had a good time doing that one. So with the next one, we're working on the next one. That's what we're working on right now.
Got it.
We're working on the next event, so that's we're looking for it to be in July, sometime late July. Yeah. So we don't have an exact date now, but I would say stay posted for that.
So let me ask you this: How did you get into all of this?
I got into this because I have a love for anime. I love it. It's what it got me to where I am now. Like I started out drawing Dragon Ball Z.
Were you doing like the sketches?
Yeah, I was doing that. I was that kid.
That was the time. But I remember doing that too. Like you get the little book and then like you sketch over and then.
Yeah, I was that kid who would make it. I would copy the body and make my own character.
Word.
So I was that kid in the back of the school bus drawing DBZ characters. So I started like that. Dragon Ball Z got me real started into anime, then getting out on my own, and this is like after high school, getting out on my own, really seeing what I can do with what I love and how many people love the same thing I love. I'm like, yo, I can not only use this as a tool to get my own creative juices flowing, but provide an environment to where people can showcase their work as well. So that was one of my main goals for doing this, was to give artists who do that type of artwork a venue and a space to showcase what they got. And with the event, we're also doing donations for kids, because we gathered, I would say, over $300 worth of school supplies, and we donated that to Classroom Central. So another big part of me doing this is to give back to kids who need the school supplies, because talking with teachers, man, like I didn't realize it was such a big thing. I didn't realize how hard it was for teachers to get school supplies until I actually sat down and started talking to teachers about they're coming at their own pocket to get these type of supplies. Like and again, I don't know the ins and outs of the school system, or I just don't know the ins and outs of it, but I'm like, why? Like that shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be an issue, especially if Charlotte's like, this is just me thinking that if Charlotte's like the number 2 in banking, why the teachers gotta buy the supplies themselves? If we number 2 in banking, so obviously there's money coming in. Like what's up?
We all know money comes in and goes straight to the top, and
so I'm like, yo, what's going on, man?
So and especially because when the money that does go out goes to the school, goes to the schools in the well-to-do areas versus the underprivileged schools and the underserved areas. And I would be shy about that one.
And that's definitely my main, to focus on those areas, and to put I have an extreme focus on black boys, making sure they have their tools. Of course, I'm focused on everyone, but those are my, if I'm putting a dot on and a stamp on it, I'm really targeting, make sure I focus on them. Because I think they need that attention. They need that type of care. So I definitely focus on those.
You know, it's funny though, because this was actually going to be one of the topics you know, as far as like just getting that exposure.
Yeah.
You know, opening up, especially in the Black community, you know, opening up people to, you know, the different kinds of things out there in the world, the different kinds of opportunities.
Yes.
And, you know, I was telling somebody the other day, you know, the reason I'm so driven and the reason, you know, I want to do all these crazy things, or I don't want to say crazy, but, you know, just do all these things. You know, I want to do so much because, you know, it's like when I've seen things, and I know there's a lot of things out there in the world. Mm-hmm. I want to get as much of it as I can. Like, you know, it's like, man, shout out to Miss Chancey, English teacher, 12th grade, senior English teacher, Northwest School of the Arts. And I just remember she shared with us, it was like this short story or whatever, or this image, and it was like or I can visualize it really, whatever it was, but like the people couldn't see. They had like you know what I'm talking. Brittany's over here shaking her head.
Brittany, I remember. I know that picture.
They're up against one. There's this image, and then but on the other side, there's so much that they don't get to see.
Yeah.
You know, they've never been exposed to that, and if you expose them to that, and they get to see, they'll go after that stuff. And so that, you know, that's me. It's like that's most, you know, a lot of people in the world. You know, they start out like that, you know, growing up, but then as they grow up, if they get the opportunity and they're fortunate enough, they get exposed to all these different things, and then they go out and seek, you know, different opportunities to be able to go and obtain that stuff. And then you have underprivileged people that don't get that, and all they see is what's in their immediate surroundings. And so I think for you to want to do something like that, I think that's great. To, you know, to want to open up opportunities to different people, because I mean, I'm pretty sure anime might inspire somebody to want to go do something and go to want to seek out more and to get more and do all these other great things. So I mean, it sure does a little bit of that for me, you know.
And that's just where we started. Like what we have coming as far as like all the things we want to do. Like of course we're gonna have to build up to that, but I know for the next show, we're looking for high school students who do that type of anime art. So I know I'm getting with a couple of my friends who have connections to Northwest High School and connections to Advanced High School. So I definitely want to put the bug in like children's ear who do that artwork. Like, yo, we have a space for that.
Right.
There's a space for that in Charlotte.
Right.
So
good stuff.
And again, we're putting everything together. I have a great team working with me, so we're putting everything together, making sure we execute it the right way. This first one was definitely a great learning experience for me about just being in detail. Like with the first one, we didn't really have enough well, we had enough nails to hang it, but we didn't have enough nails to particularly place the artwork where we needed to place. We didn't have names of the artwork and pricing, so the artist could sell it. So instead of trying to hunt us down to see how much this particular art piece costs, or how much, or who's the actual artist, they can actually just look at the name tag, price, so they can have all the information there instead of trying to hunt us down. So, but we're definitely gonna do it way better, way more efficient the next time.
That's good. That's good. That just reminded me. You know, I think it's very important. I think it's great that you're already doing it, but to create these opportunities for these kids early on rather than later. Because I think really one of the big things for me is like figuring, the earlier you figure out you want to do what you want to do, or you know what some of your skills are, I think the better, because you can start working on that earlier. Granted, things will change, because I know things have changed for me. You know, I still want to do concert tour promotions, but you know, I went from planning events. You know, I planned on my own small concert, from booking shows to doing radio, and here I am with a podcast. You know, so it's like you'll feel your way around. But you know, for me, the overall arching thing is like, hey, I want to be in entertainment. I don't know exactly what I want to do in it, but this is what I want to do. So same thing with these kids. Like, they may want to do art and want to do anime, but it's like, hey, I know I got a skill in something. Let me go ahead and start working on my craft right now, and something may change along the way. But who knows where it'll take me? But I'm using my gift in some form of way. So
that's a great thing about that too. Like when you using your gift and you're following your path, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like so many doors that were open for you that you don't even know were there. Like, you'll just okay, that door open. I didn't even know that door was there, but I'm gonna go through it and see where that leads. That's just what it is when you follow your passion and you follow what you really want to do in life. Like, everything works with you. Like, the universe, it's a line in The Alchemist, that book. It's the universe conspires with you. As long as you're moving forward in your truth, the universe conspires with you.
I like that.
So
I like that. I can always go for a good quote.
Oh yeah. Dude, Alchemist got plenty of them. So
I bet. Yeah.
Read that book.
That's very true, man. I saw that movie a few years ago.
I didn't know they came out with a movie.
Alchemist, yeah, that was a movie, because I was the one about like the kids and they had to be like grow up, and yeah, there's a movie on it. It was
okay.
right.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
I didn't know they had a movie for it.
Yeah, it didn't get as big of a push as I thought it would.
Yeah,
you might find it online somewhere or something. But yeah, it was a decent watch. It was a decent watch. I always be able to put some visuals.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead, give the listeners your social media and everything so they can check you out. 'Cause I know you got some. I know I was thumbing through it a couple of days ago. You got some dope stuff on there. So
appreciate
want
that.
them to be able to follow you and check you out.
I'm only on Instagram right now, so you can follow me at tall.chris on Instagram. Real simple profile. I got some dope stuff on there. Check it out, and check it out to stay posted with the Zumakara event. We will start posting pretty soon. But yeah, man, that's about it. Only on Instagram. Tall.chris.
Word. So you guys heard him. Definitely go check him out on Instagram, tall.chris. Again, he's got some pretty dope stuff on there, and also be on the lookout for his event as well. If you haven't done so already, go follow the SANE Show on Instagram and Twitter, SANE_show, SANE_show. On Facebook, the SANE Show. We got some more stuff coming for you guys. We got some more cool guests coming for you all as well. Thank you for coming on to the SANE Show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Always great talking to you.
Yeah.
And with that being said, this is the SANE Show, the show about nothing and everything, episode 29 with our guest Tall Chris. Thank you again for coming on. Thank you guys for listening from the UK to Canada to the US, Australia, Germany, Panama, France, Belgium. And love you guys. Continue, like, share, subscribe, spread the word, most importantly. And again, with that being said, that's the SANE Show, episode 29, featuring Tall Chris. And until next time, we're out.